Hey, this is the Point Student Ministry Update. It's wonderful to be back with you guys. Happy Valentine's Day to each and every one of you. Just know that you are loved by me, and I'm so thankful to serve with each and every one of you. I don't say that just to say that. I truly mean it. Ministry would not happen on the level that we've seen without your faithfulness to the ministry and to the Lord's calling on your life to love students. So thank you. Happy Valentine's Day. Now that we've gotten our Hallmark moment out of the way, I want to talk about this month and the series that we're going to be starting this coming Sunday on the 20th of February. Which is our Good Sex series. And let me just bring some clarification. I want to make sure that all of us, excuse me, I've got a cold, all of us are on the same page about why we're doing it and how we're going to be handling it throughout the next month. Number one, the sex series is not designed to be a birds and bees talk or a light version of that even. We are trusting that parents are doing their job to be able to have those discussions with their students on their own time. Like I shared Sunday, it was awkward enough for me to do it with my son, let alone doing it with 200 people, okay? So we will not be holding a biology class and talking about that. What we're really going to be talking about and focused on are really four things, and I wanted to break down every week, so if you get questions from parents who are maybe concerned or they don't understand what it is and why we're doing it, first off, what we'll be teaching on the first week is talking about biblical truth versus cultural lies. What does the world say about sex? What does the Bible say about sex? And needless to say, there's very major differences between those two concepts and understanding. And then we're just going to be talking about boundaries. How far is too far? That's a question that needs to be answered. So we'll be talking about that. We'll also be talking about if it's too late, if you've already gone too far sexually, what now? Are you just damaged goods? God can't restore you. We're going to be talking a lot about how the Lord is able to make something beautiful out of the dust, like we've been singing about the past couple of weeks. And so we're just going to be tackling those kind of issues. And of course, we'll be talking about the differences between male and female and that sort of thing in terms of just our approach to sex. And so men are visual, women are a lot more cerebral. And so we're going to be talking about those types of things from a biblical perspective. Reason why we're doing it is I'm seeing an increasing need for us to address it and talk about it specifically and hit this issue head on biblically, because I have seen in our leadership, just in student leaders, issues where they're starting to make some bad decisions. And I certainly don't want us to be asleep at the wheel. And so sex is weird only when we make it weird, and so we're going to have a lot of fun with it, and we are going to tackle this thing head on and just let the Holy Spirit be able to define their sexuality and not allow our culture to steal that from them and redefine it for them. So with that said, this involves you. You have to excuse me. On Wednesday nights, you will be talking about sex in the sense, if you look on your live curriculum, you'll see that there's a couple of blocks on the calendar, and you will be talking about this coming Wednesday about lust and just how guys struggle with lust and girls struggle with lust and what that looks like in their lives and how to overcome that scripturally and by the power of the Holy Spirit. So you should be in for some pretty good conversations, I'm guessing. The next week, you will notice that we're going to be talking about modesty. And some of you are like, yes, finally, we're talking about modesty. You're concerned about some of your students, maybe the way that they dress or the way that they reveal themselves and present themselves to boys, or vice versa, guys, showing off too much, of their six-pack abs or whatever. Whatever the issue is. Here's the only thing I would ask of you to do. There's probably certain faces that will pop up in your mind that you feel, man, this is going to be my platform to be able to just bring it home. But we want to present all of this with the love of Jesus Christ, and we don't want to come across as preachy or trying to push our own ideas of what we think modesty is. We're going to let the Bible define it. And we want these students to receive what it is that we're saying and know that it's coming from a heart of love, not from a heart of judgment. And so please pray and study your lessons through that filter, because we don't want to alienate anybody, but we certainly want to make sure that we're faithful to present what it is that God has asked us to do. And so do that with all the love that the Lord will allow you to do as you speak truth into these students' lives. And then we're going to go into our third week on that Wednesday night and talk about how to stop the cycle of lust and immodesty and just our culture and how it's just shoved in our faces everywhere we look. So anyway, I'm excited to see what God is going to be doing in this next month, and I hope by the end of it, the students will have a clear understanding of what healthy sex really is and what that looks like and why it's meant for a man and a woman who are married in a committed relationship, and what it means to be able to present yourself in a holy holy way, and also being able to make a covenant with your eyes to stay pure. And so these are big issues. These are big things, but they're alive and well in your students' lives, and we want to be able to speak into them while we have the chance and tell them the truth about how all this is supposed to be. So be prayed up, be ready, be open, and don't be embarrassed, and let's just see how God defines it and makes this month look. So anyway, I wanted to make sure we talked about that specifically. Also, I wanted to let you all know, one of the things that came about from our last youth worker meeting, if you missed it, was the opportunity that we now have to be able to spend more time with our students in ministry. So here's what I would encourage you to do. Throughout the course of your night on a Wednesday night, you may have a student who you could tell needs a little bit more one-on-one attention, and maybe you're not able to stay late after on Wednesday night to talk to them one-on-one. Use your Sunday mornings for those purposes. And so our doors open here in the Student Center at 9:30, so you can meet one-on-one at a table over in the worship area in the Student Center. Talk to your student, then minister them from 9:30 to 10 o'clock. Or after the service, we have the building from 11 to 11:45. And so set those appointments with your students, buy them a Mountain Dew, sit down with them, minister to them, and use that time to be able to pour into them one-on-one instead of trying to do it all on a Wednesday night. So I just want to let you know that those opportunities are available. They're there for you to be able to meet with your students, connect with them on a Sunday as well. So take advantage of that. One other thing I wanted to run by you is I sent a survey out a couple weeks ago, and about half of y'all filled it out. It takes about 5 minutes. This is our G5 survey for our life group leaders here in the student ministry, and we want to make sure every single one of y'all do it. It's anonymous, so you're not telling on yourself necessarily, but this is just to give me a tool to know how I can best lead you guys. And so for a week overall in a certain area of one of the 5 Gs, we can look at that and go, how can we improve in this area? Because we want to be able to represent and model to our students the G5 and seeing growth in these areas, and not just expecting our students to do it when we're not doing it ourselves. So this is just the keep it real part of this little message here. So fill out the survey, and it will help me know how to best lead you guys. So that's really about it. I love you guys. I think I've spent the rest of my voice. I don't have anything left, but just know that you're a blessing to me, and I'm so thankful to you for all that you mean to a student and you mean to me personally. So take that for what it's worth. I love you guys. I'll see you Wednesday.